I really didn't want to have to do this. And I originally was scheduled to do this particular live Saturday evening, late Saturday evening after the Georgia Florida game. But I felt like it wasn't a good time. I needed time to calm down. I just needed time to calm down so I could get my thoughts together and properly articulate what I need to say here. So I decided to just reschedule it for today, Monday. And as you can see, the doghouse is unanimous. I think every podcaster is putting one particular person in the doghouse, in their doghouse today, and that is Carson Beck. But I'm not going to, this is not a Carson Beck bashing live. This is not a Carson Beck bashing segment. I'm going to break down what I feel like, in my opinion, is the problem with Carson Beck and what needs to happen moving forward, and why Georgia fans should not get in panic mode just yet. All right. So if you want the truth, if you want the cold, hard truth, stay right there. Get your popcorn ready. Come back. If you don't like the truth, if you want to remain in denial, I suggest leave. Because I'm about to break it down to what's the problem, what really is the problem with Carson Beck, and what needs to be done to fix it, and why I still believe that my Georgia Bulldogs can win this thing in 2024. So get your popcorns ready. This is the Dog Call. Good evening. I'm Armondo Black, and this is the Dog Call. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday, everyone. I hope everyone is having a blessed and productive Monday thus far today. All right, so I've been getting DMs, I've been getting messages in Facebook, and everybody was wondering, Armondo, when you're going to come on out and speak on this. You went in a little bit on the post-game show. Post-game show with my brother Sniper. We touched on this a little bit, but we didn't go in depth on it because the thing about it with the post-game show, we try to cover everything as far as college football. I use the Dog Call specifically for Georgia Bulldogs news, information, and to come on here and vent and rant my feelings of exactly what's going on with my Georgia Bulldogs. Okay. I'm gonna put it to you like this. Okay, Carson Beck has become a liability for the Georgia Bulldogs. Okay, but it's not a situation where we need to get in panic mode. It's not a situation where we feel. First things first, all of you that are calling for Gunnar Stockton and Jaden Rashada, and I was guilty of that at the halftime of the Florida game. But when we did not see Rashada or Gunnar come out of that tunnel, that told me one thing. They're not ready. They're not ready. Sometimes we have to remember there's a reason why Kirby Smart is the head coach, and we're just the fans. We're just an armchair coach. There's a reason why this man is making what, $13.5 million, and we're, you know, we're making average salaries. You know, there's a reason why Kirby is the face of the program, and we're not. If he felt like Gunnar or Rashada was ready to take over, I guarantee you we would have seen him in the second half. We would have seen him in the second half. So for those of you that say, well, Kirby don't pull quarterbacks, he don't replace BS. Let's go back to his very first game as a head coach at Georgia. Grayson Lambert was the starter. Grayson Lambert was playing like crap, and he pulled him and put Jacob Eason in the game. Okay. Let's go to 2018. We were getting our asses handed to us by LSU in Baton Rouge. He pulls Jake Fromm for a series and puts Justin Fields in the game. All right, let's go back to 2020, the season opener down in Little Rock against Arkansas. You know, DeJuan Mathis is having a terrible first half. Had an amazing camp, but had a terrible first half. Terrible. Everyone was high on DeJuan Mathis. 5-star, mobile, had a cannon for an arm. Remember that? He played like crap in that first half, and Kirby pulled the trigger. And after halftime, out comes Stetson, and the rest is history. 2 national titles later. So I don't want to hear none of this about, well, Kirby never yanks the quarterback. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. If he feels like the guy that's behind him is ready. And evidently, Kirby, for whatever reason, I don't know, you don't know, none of us know. For whatever reason, we didn't see Gunnar or Jaden Rashada come out of that tunnel at halftime in Jacksonville. And there's a reason for everything. Remember, let's go back to 2021 when a lot of the Dogs fans at Sanford Stadium, and I still feel like that was a distasteful move. Going into that week against UAB, Carson Beck was the number 2 guy behind JT Daniels, and we all thought Carson Beck would be starting. Late that Thursday night, it leaks out that Stetson was going to be the starter. So Saturday morning, Stetson is announced as the starter. And during warm-ups, Georgia fans were booing when Stetson came out. An hour and a half later, Stetson is being cheered all over Sanford Stadium because he threw, 6 touchdowns that day? And a lot of Georgia fans thought Kirby was crazy for choosing Stetson over Carson Beck. How you like him now? 2 national titles later. I say that to say this. There's a reason why this man is the head coach. There's a reason why this man being named not just within our fan base, but in other fan bases as the best coach in college football right now, today. There's a reason. So let the man coach. Let the man do his job. Evidently, he's the coach. I've never coached on a college level. So evidently he may know something we don't know. We're not there in practice with them, so he knows something we don't know. Now, On to Carson Beck. I think the problem is simple. It's not due to lack of talent. See, other programs have that issue. Other teams have that issue. There are a couple of teams that actually will make the playoffs have that issue. They have a quarterback that could really be a serious liability because of lack of talent. Carson Beck is a liability, not because of his lack of talent. He's a liability because of selfishness. He's playing selfish, show-off football. He's thinking more about himself than the team right now. He's being selfish. And that can be fixed. It's all up to him. He has to assert himself and assess his decision-making out there on that field, because it's going to get real Saturday. Ole Miss is not the team that you want to fall behind a couple of touchdowns. Ole Miss is not a team that you actually really want to fall behind. To beat Ole Miss, you want to make it an ugly game like Kentucky did. You want to make it an ugly game like LSU did. You don't want to get into no up and down the field shootout with this Ole Miss team, because their offense is dangerous and it's extremely potent, and they have a lot of weapons. In my opinion, they have a better quarterback. As you know, I'm just gonna put it out there. Jackson Dart is a hell of a better quarterback than Carson Beck. Now, the one thing that I feel that will help Georgia is that Ole Miss does not have an elite running game. They don't have Juergens like they had him last year. They don't have Quayshawn Juergens. Now, had they had Juergens this year, we probably would be in trouble, because our issue has been all season stopping the run. Now, the early part of the season, our issue was giving up explosive plays, but we've cooled that off. Teams have not been able to hit no explosive plays. Now, that one explosive play that Florida hit, they would not have been able to do that anymore in that game. That was a one-time, one-hit wonder. Hell, we've seen plays like that 2021 defense gave up plays like that. Like I said, the defense is not going to always be able to pitch a shutout. The defense is not going to always be able to pitch a shutout. Someone is going to miss an assignment. Someone is going to slip and fall. Someone is going to blow an assignment on defense. It's going to happen. Someone is going to miss a tackle on defense. That's going to happen. But it doesn't happen often to this Georgia team. That's the good thing about it. Now, Carson Beck issue can be straightened out. He has to put it like this. He had 3 goals coming into this season. Heisman, be the first round draft quarterback, first round get picked in the draft in the first round, and win a national title. Now, he has to be honest with himself right about now. Right about now, you are no Heisman, nowhere near New York. Nowhere near New York, okay? Definitely not going in the first round. I don't care if he comes out Saturday and against Tennessee looking like Joe Montana or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. I don't care if he comes out putting up those kind of numbers. The tape of him throwing 3 interceptions against Texas, 3 interceptions against Florida. I think it was 2 interceptions against Mississippi State, and turning the ball over 4 times against Bama. That tape ain't going nowhere. 11 interceptions. Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, they're going to eat that up. They're going to eat that up at the draft pick premiere. And the general managers are definitely, they're going to look at it. They're going to look at the fact that if he gets rolled off to his right, he doesn't make good decisions. They're going to look at the fact that he does not throw a nice deep ball. It's not He doesn't hit receivers in stride when he's throwing a deep ball. And hell, he could have plenty of protection. How many times have we seen where he's had plenty of protection and Arian Smith or Dylan Bell or Kobe Young beat their man down the field and he's not able to hit him in stride? Hell, we've seen that happen last year with Ladd McConkey, where he overthrew Ladd McConkey and Broad Bowers, where they had their man beat. So it's not just a problem that just occurred this year. It's been an ongoing problem. Now, I think at best he may be a late third rounder, a late third round pick. Someone can get him for a steal. He can be developed. But I just don't think that Georgia fans can just sit back and think, okay, miraculously he's just gonna turn on the light switch and just start lighting it up. I think it is what it is. We have what we have, and we need to accept and utilize him for what he may be best at. And I think that's game managing, which means run the ball more, play action, dink and dong, matriculate the ball down the field. I would not even take a chance unless a receiver is open. Or it's a 50-50 situation with Arian Smith, or a 50-50 situation with Dominique Lovett, where Dominique Lovett has his man beat down the field. I would not take a chance on plays 30 yards or more across the middle. I would not do that. With Carson Beck. I would try to stay away from that because he doesn't make good decisions going across the middle. He's not Stetson Bennett, and he damn sure ain't Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm was pretty much one of the best QBs Georgia has ever had going across the middle, throwing intermediate routes. Jake Fromm just really didn't have the arm strength. He had the talent, and he could read defenses a hell of a lot better than Carson Beck. He just did not have the arm strength that Carson Beck has. Give Jake Fromm the arm strength, that cannon of an arm that Beck has, and Jake Fromm probably would have won the Heisman. I'm just being totally honest, because his accuracy down the field was amazing. He just did not have the arm strength to zip the ball into tight windows at times. That was Jake Fromm's issue. That was my issue with him. But Carson Beck's issue is decision making. Carson Beck, there's nothing wrong with taking a sack, son. There's nothing wrong with taking a sack. I would much rather you hold the ball, take a sack, than to be becoming a turnover machine. Just throwing the ball, throwing interceptions and giving the other team a short field. Because how many times is the defense going to have to bail you out of situations? The defense had to bail you out down in Austin. The defense had to bail you out Saturday. So when you're making mistakes like that, throwing the ball in the hands of the other team and giving them a short field, you're becoming a liability to the team. It's like you're handing points to the other team. If this was a basketball game, hell, you would be down at the other end just throwing the alley-oop to the other team. That's what this is becoming. So, better decision making. Kirby needs to stop. I don't know I don't know if the money, the new contract has made Kirby a nicer guy, but I like the asshole. I like Kirby the asshole from back in the early days. I like Kirby. I don't like this nice version of Kirby Smart. I like the mean asshole Kirby Smart. The one that when a player messed up, he would be right there on the sideline face turning red, eyes bucked, and in their face, hands all on the grill, grabbing them by the collar. That's the Kirby that I miss. This Kirby right here, this Kirby right here, this Kirby is too nice. All that hugging and patting and telling Carson Beck everything gonna be all right. No, everything is not gonna be all right unless we make some changes. And the change is put a leash on him. Put a leash on him. It's not like you haven't done it before. You put a leash on Jake Fromm. You put a leash on JT Daniels. You put a leash on Stetson Bennett. Now, all of a sudden, Carson Beck is allowed to go for 40 to 50 attempts a game. That ain't Georgia football. That ain't Georgia Bulldogs football. Going all the way back to Vince Dooley. When I was a kid watching Vince Dooley, he didn't allow Buck Bellew to throw for no 40 and 50 times a game. Now, I can see if we were banged up in the backfield like we were in 2018, but that is not the case this year. We have 3 good, capable running backs that can run the rock and move the ball. Etienne, Frazier, and Cash Jones. And we got another kid that everybody's excited about, the Phillips kid. We have talent. We have talent. We have talent. And so does Carson Beck. Carson Beck wasn't doing this last year. He was not doing this last year. He wasn't. Because he felt like he didn't have to. He's trying to play hero ball in 2024. Especially, and notice this, everyone. Notice this. It really has ramped up since Kobe Young got kicked off the team. He feels like he has to play hero ball, and we don't need him to play hero ball. We just need you to be the quarterback of the team and lead this team to an SEC championship game and an SEC title and a national championship. And you don't have to do that trying to go out there every Saturday being a hero. Fundamentals. That's it. Fundamentals. You don't have to go out there trying to be the hero. Because that's when you make mistakes. That's when you make serious, costly mistakes. So, can this problem be, are we doomed? Is this an issue that could cost us a national title? Yes, but this issue can be straightened out immediately. It just has to come from Kirby and Mike Bobo and pull the kid over to the side and say, hey, look, quit trying to play hero ball. Quit trying to pad your stats for an NFL draft pick. The most important thing right now should be you leading this team to a national title. Because those other 2 lofty goals are not going to happen. To be the first quarterback off the board, and that ain't happening. Heisman, and that damn show ain't happening. So the only thing left is the third promise you made was leading Georgia to a national title and getting your own ring. Because you have 2 rings, Carson. You have 2 rings. But let's not forget, those 2 rings belong to Carson. To Stetson. Those are Stetson rings. You were on the sideline holding the clipboard in 2021 and 2022. This is your time to shine. This is your time to step up and win your own ring. And I'm confident you can do it. You just got to quit getting in your own way. Quit trying to be something you're not. You're not Dan Marino. You're not Aaron Rodgers. You're not the type of quarterback that can take a team, put them on their shoulders, and lead them to a victory by throwing 40 or 50 times a game. That's not your game. You're a game manager. You're not a gunslinger. That is official now. You are a game manager. And it's time to put the leash on you. Kirby, Mike Bobo, it's time to put a leash on this kid. Concentrate on fundamentals. And if you have to take a sack, for God's sake, take the sack. Take the sack. Live to play another down. Don't continue to throw the ball into the other team. That's hurting the team, and that's when you become the liability. Now, with that being said, I got to give it to you. You, Carson Beck, you are in the doghouse. You're in the doghouse. But you can easily get out of the doghouse just by getting out of your own way and quit playing selfish hero ball. Get your teammates involved. Get your teammates involved. Don't go trying to force things down the field. It's almost like you're seeing ghosts. I don't know what you think you're seeing down the field. You think you're seeing Brock Bowers or Larry McConkey or Rosamie St. Jack down the field? No, you don't see them anymore. You don't see Kobe Young anymore. You don't see Ra Thomas anymore. You don't have that anymore. So work with what you got. Work with what you got. Manage the game smarter. And on that note, I want to thank you all for coming out. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'm Armondo Black. This has been the Dawg Call. For those of you that are in the chat, salute to you. Thank you very much for supporting the platform. And I'll see you next time. And hey, y'all make sure y'all get out there and vote. Make sure you get out there and vote. Hey, this is an American right. Hey, a lot of people lost their lives for us to have the right to vote. So make sure you take advantage of that. Make sure you take advantage of that. That is all a part of the American dream, being able to vote and let your voice be heard. All right, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. Love you all. Peace and blessings. I'm Armondo Black. Like I always say, take care of yourselves and each other. And one last thing. Go Dogs. Sick 'em. Woo, 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 woo.